talk now about COVID-19. Germany's lockdown has been extended for another 3 weeks. This time, the rules are even more stringent. The current lockdown regulations, including the closure of schools, will now be in place until at least January 31. I'm joined by Thomas Sparrow, correspondent with our partners DW in Berlin. And let's find out, as Germany extended its lockdown first, what are the new measures?
Well, essentially, Germany's lockdown, which has been in place since mid-December, is now being extended until the end of January. And this means that all non-essential shops, restaurants, bars, museums will have to remain closed. Schools and daycare will also have to remain shut. And this was, by the way, a very controversial point in the discussions that led to the extension. But it's not only about extending current measures, it's also about tightening them. People will now only be allowed to privately meet one person outside of their household. And for areas that are particularly hard hit, people will only be able to move 15 kilometers from their place of residence. The federal and regional governments here in Germany consider these measures necessary, and they have also asked citizens to be very disciplined. But at the same time, the new restrictions have been received with certain skepticism, especially with many people asking how exactly they are going to be enforced.
But why exactly is Germany extending them? What actually went wrong?
Well, Germany indeed fared comparatively well during the first wave, but the second one has hit the country hard. Just to give you one example, it was reported that more people died of coronavirus here in December than between March and November. And the measures imposed nationally and regionally have simply not been enough to reduce numbers considerably and achieve the goal of 50 new infections per 100,000 inhabitants in a 7-day period. So this explains why measures were tightened even during the Christmas period. But a caveat is here important. The second wave is affecting most European countries very hard, not only Germany. So this also has to be understood in a broader perspective as a problem that European leaders are also trying to resolve together, for example, through a common approach towards the procurement of vaccines.
Well, on the topic of the vaccine, Germany has already started to roll it out. So how is that going?
There is a growing debate here in Germany about the way the vaccine is being rolled out in the country. The vaccine, and this is important to stress, was mostly procured at a European level, and it is being distributed to the different EU member states. The German government has defended this approach, and it has stressed the importance of working together with other countries to tackle a global challenge. But some of Germany's regions have criticized that the rollout process has been too slow and that they are not receiving enough doses. For some, it's especially difficult to understand how there have been procurement or distribution issues for a vaccine which was in part developed right here in Germany. And moreover, some are also skeptical of the effects of a vaccine which was developed very quickly. But in general terms, the vaccination program has been met with hope as the beginning of the end of the pandemic. And in fact, more than 300,000 people have already received the first dose right here in Germany.
Well, Thomas Sparrow there. Thomas, thank you very much for that. Those details. Well, here in Ghana, we're waiting for our own procurement of the vaccines and administration thereof. So Germany is in lockdown. It has been extended, by the way. You know that other countries as well. That's the situation there. Well, in South Africa, we know that there's a variant in circulation raising a lot of concern.